What on earth is garbanzo bean tofu? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Ken Johnson. So today we're going to be making garbanzo bean Burmese tofu. Now if you don't know what a garbanzo bean is, that's just chickpeas, so stay tuned. Growing up, we always referred to these as garbanzo beans. However, over a period of time, the name in America has switched. Starting around the 90s, it started being called chickpeas. Before then, back when I was a child in the 80s, it was called garbanzos. Before then, it was almost always exclusively called garbanzos. So what we're going to do is take a half a bag. This is a 1 pound bag. We're going to take a half pound, roughly, and that's 1 US cup, more or less. And we're going to soak them overnight, and we're going to turn these into Burmese tofu. And the reason why we're doing this is that chickpeas have sort of a poultry-like flavor. It pairs well with poultry, and so I'm wanting to know if I can make some type of meat substitute, turn this into Burmese tofu as a way to stretch your budget. So we'll be back. I'll get these put into a bowl and I'll show you what we're going to do with them. We've got the garbanzos or chickpeas in here, and what we're doing is we're just looking for any type of beans that I just don't want to eat. So if there's any type of imperfections or whatever. Walmart in the past has not had the best quality beans, but all in all, I'm only seeing like 1 or 2, and I'm just putting these off into a bowl off to the side. But when you don't get, 1 or 2 out of a package, that's not bad. I've had other brands I've had problems with. Some of the other beans from Walmart I've had that were not this good, but these are actually pretty clean. So we're going to go ahead and drain these off, put them into a quart bag, and I'll show you what we're going to do with those. These are in a quart bag. Now I'm going to add 3 cups of clean water into the bag and seal it up. Alright, that is 1/2 pound or 227 grams, or garbanzos, also known as chickpeas, in a bag with 3 cups of water. So 1 cup beans to 3 cups of water. Now we're going to put this in the refrigerator and let them soak overnight. So future me here, the idea of using the Ziploc bags or zip top bags, bad idea. That right in the corner, if it's not sealed just perfectly, or if when they were doing the heat sealing treatment they didn't get it exactly right, you will get little pinholes, and they're not totally airtight, and they will leak everywhere. Ask me how I know. So where I had the beans, I actually had a bunch of different projects all in bags, and it all leaked, and I had a big giant tray of mess. So don't do that. Put them in a bowl, cover them up. I just didn't have room because I'm doing multiple experiments all on the same day, and what you have to do when you're a YouTuber and you're pressed for time, so just put them in a bowl, cover them up with some plastic wrap, they'll be fine. If you put them in a zip top bag, like I said, you're going to have issues. They might spill, leak. You don't really want that. Alright, our chickpeas are done soaking. I've washed them off, or rinsed them, and then drained them. I've got 3 cups. From previous experience, I've learned not to do what most of the YouTubers say and double the amount of volume that you got. So I just put 2 cups of water in here. I'll blend it up a little bit, and then if I need to add more, I will add more. After about 3 minutes of blending, I'm going to add a package, which is 1 ounce or 28 grams of Taco Bell original taco seasoning. Now this is not going to be a strong Mexican flavor. Taco Bell is not Mexican. It is anything but Mexican. So you're going to have some decent flavoring, but not too much, so that if you want to use this in other applications, you could not have to worry about it being that typical cumin heavy Mexican flavor. If you want that though, add some cumin, add some chili powder, and that will definitely enhance those typical or stereotypical Mexican flavors. There it is, blended up, so you can see that. Now I'm adding in Taco Bell seasoning. And if you used a different brand of taco seasoning, you might get a different flavor. Just play around with it. Use what you like. You can put whatever seasonings you want in here. So salt, pepper, onion powder, that would all work. A little bit of garlic powder, that wouldn't hurt. From having done this before, I know that this type of tofu will need a little help. So I've got some chicken bouillon cubes. I'm going to put 2 cubes in the blender. This is what the cubes look like. They're individually wrapped. I'm going to toss these in. Now remember, these are made with real chicken, so this is not vegan, this is not vegetarian. Alright, this is a struggle meal that I'm playing around with. So if you want to keep it vegan, vegetarian, you could definitely put some type of vegetable stock in as water. This is also very salty, so just be careful of that. And or if you wanted to and you didn't have this, you can always substitute your water with a chicken stock or something along that line. Alright, it's ready to go. Now we'll put it into a cooking pot and we'll start cooking. Alright, I took about another cup of water and washed out the blender carafe with that so we can get all the seasoning and pulp and everything. And once that was rinsed out into this pot, I've got this going on now at about a medium-high temp. You need to be stirring this, and you're going to be stirring this constantly for a minimum of 15 minutes. Now some people be like, Kim, why are you telling people to constantly stir this for 15 minutes? Well, simply put, all beans and peas have a lot of starch in them. Even though we talk a lot about the protein content, the starch content in them is pretty high. And that's what's actually causing this tofu to become tofu. It's a different type of tofu. It's not coagulated like Chinese tofu. And so this Burmese tofu is dependent on that starch. Chickpeas have 22 grams per serving of starch. So just keep that in mind. And starch likes to stick and burn when you cook it like this. So that's the reason why we're stirring. Already 5 minutes into this, you can see that's thickening up pretty good. So that's a good thing. This is ready. And the way you know it's ready is when you take a spoon, just kind of stick it there and it'll stick, stand straight up. So like right here, I've been stirring, but another thing that you can do is take it, and when you run a line through it with your spoon, see how slow it is? It's like extremely thick oatmeal. That's a good consistency. Think about oatmeal that's too thick. It's almost getting to mortar. So you want very, very thick. Alright, so I have a split container. This is really where people store like sandwiches and stuff to take away on picnics or things of that nature. And this thing right here, it holds 65 ounces or 1,840 ounces. Generally in the past with this amount, I've only been able to fill one of these containers. So that means that I get roughly 32.5 ounces or 920 milliliters. Alright, so once I've evened it out, I'm lidding it up, putting it into the refrigerator and letting it sit for a minimum of 1 hour. 2 to 3 hours would be best. Alright, so this right here is the chickpea, and it unmolded beautifully. That's the good thing about this Burmese tofu. You do not have to worry about it sticking. It comes right out, especially when you use a plastic mold that can handle small bouts of high heat. It'll come just undone, no problem. No need to oil anything. That's a little bit of residual water from the cooling process. But yeah, no oil was used, came out beautifully. I unmolded this just a little bit early, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in a zip top bag and put it in the refrigerator so that it can chill all the way through. I don't want there to be any soft spots when I get ready to do the next step. Okay, so what we're going to do is take this knife and just cut very, very, very thin slices and fry this up. Make some tacos. That's it sliced up. Now we're going to put in a pan with a little bit of oil. Actually, this is so thick, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut that in half. Do it like that. That right there gives you nice little strips. It'll be perfect for tacos. Now put them into the pan. Those on the way. Future Ken here, so from this point going forward, I am going to be saying the word Mayakoba bean a lot. And that's because I was doing multiple experiments and I grabbed the wrong container. I thought that I grabbed Mayakoba bean. I'd actually grabbed the garbanzo bean. And so the garbanzo bean or chickpea is what I'm referring to. So if you hear me say Mayakoba bean, that's not what I meant. I meant to say chickpea or garbanzo bean. So sorry about that. This is me flipping them over. I am impressed with how these browning up here. Something I will note, the Mayakoba Burmese tofu, it really soaks up the oil, and the other side it just browned up super quickly. This is the side that didn't have any oil on it, and it just super browned up. The other side, the oil was just soaking through, so as soon as you put it in the oil, it just soaks up every bit of oil you put in the pan. You can tell I'm pulling out fine china here. So I've got 2 carb balanced tortillas because I am diabetic and this is high starch meal. So what I'm going to do is put the fake meat, the Burmese tofu from the Mayakoba bean on here. Here we go. Alright, we got a little bit of lettuce on here, a little coagulant cheese, a little sour cream, and some pico de gallo. Alright, let's give this a shot. Got good flavor. It don't have the texture of chicken or beef or anything like that, but if you did ground beef on a taco, really, there's no texture from the meat anyway to amount to much. If you eat Taco Bell, you know there's no texture in their meat. It's kind of grainy like Taco Bell meat. Not bad. I just finished eating both tacos. Man, I am full. Which is kind of weird for me to say. Normally I eat way more than that. But 2 tacos. It had, you know, those hamburgers that you buy at like Sam's. They're pre-made, that frozen and all that. It kind of had that filler meat taste. So if you think about the bad shawarma, the bad Greek gyros, that meat that's just overprocessed, something about it, you know, it's still good. I mean, there's no such thing as bad shawarma, and there's no such thing as a bad Greek gyro. But that overprocessed meat, that's kind of the flavor you get. And by frying it up to that dark, those little crispy bits, you really do appreciate that. So I think doing it again in the future, I will fry it to where it's nice and crispy, because that light brown wasn't cutting it. When I hit those crispy bits, that's where all the flavor intensified, the browning that took place for the Maillard reaction. And that was actually pretty good. I can't get Mayakoba beans all the time, but that was something that'd be good for a struggle meal. I'm going to fry up another piece, but not just to fry it up, but I want to see how it tastes by itself. I'm going to brown it up real good on both sides. And then Tasha is away, and I'm going to see how Bluford likes this. Alrighty, so we've got this now. This is what it looks like when it's just fried up. Hot. Hot. The center, there's nothing to it. Kind of gritty a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. Because we did a whole bean tofu. If you ran it through and sieved out all the solids, you'd have something much more silky. But I was trying to do this for struggle meal. You wouldn't want waste. I was researching a black-eyed pea fritter one time, and it kind of has the same texture as that fritter. Kind of mushy in the center, crispy on the outside, good flavor. And here we have Bluford, and so we're going to see what Bluford thinks about this. Hey Blue, look at this. Well, he's not spitting it out. He seems to like this. And if Bluford likes it, I'm good with it. Well guys, I hope you found that to be entertaining, informative. Chickpea. Yeah. Chickpea has so many freaking uses, it's unreal. No wonder so many cultures hold on to it. It's not very popular here in America, but man, does it have a wealth of opportunities. It behaved differently than any of the other tofus I've tried. It absorbs the oil. It has umptiousness to it. It's the only one that could work out. Just cut it thin and crisp it up, and it really does well. Now these hard time meals, they're a way for you to save money. And so if you need to stretch your dollars, save some money, you never know when hard times are going to strike. You know, I've been in a wreck before that changed my family's economy. You could be laid off for no reason that's a fault of your own, just something happened. A random TikToker could change a segment of the economy that you work in and just shut things down. We live in strange times when anything can happen. And so with that, even though you may be feeling good right now, you feel pretty stable, you never know. And sometimes you need to just save up some money and you need to cut corners. One meal a week that you use a cheap alternative to something, or you make a cheap meal. Food is such a huge cost to a family. And if you can do that, you'd be amazed at how much money you can save. So that's the reason why I do these videos. Not all of them are going to be successes. I try to show warts and all. I hope you found this to be fun, entertaining, informative, all that good stuff. Please give it a like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you again next time. Bye.